Welcome to a series of podcasts discussing series of films.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dave.
In a world inundated with prequels, sequels, spin-offs, and reboots, we ask the question,
Do we need one more? I think we do.
I think we don't. Okay, so I have been holding this in because I haven't wanted to say anything until we were on mic.
Tell me.
I had a revelation about myself in the car.
Revelation's a big word for me, Matt.
It's apt. I promise you. I'm not over exaggerating. I know I'm from theater, but I promise I'm not being dramatic. So obviously we've talked about my love of a guy in a big coat. We love big guys in coats being like, hey, what's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your Raphaels, your things, etc.
Yeah. Big man in a trench coat.
I had a revelation. I think maybe that tops the big guy in a coat, and it's
Hit me.
a little guy in sunglasses. I thought I'm talking Squirtle Squad.
Okay.
I'm talking specifically Joe Cool.
Joe Cool.
My guy, Snoopy.
Oh, Joe
one of his
Cool,
alter
duh.
egos is Snoopy in sunglasses. I can't tell you how happy I am when I see just a little guy in shades. It makes me
I was
so
like, we're
happy.
doing Mission Impossible. Are you talking about Tom Cruise in this one?
You know what? Maybe
or did we just
I
have
am.
to get this off your chest?
Look, I'm a short king. I'm happy to be a short king, and I celebrate and champion all short kings, especially the top one, Joe Cool.
Joe Cool. Snoopy is a living, breathing legend.
Yes, he
So
is.
that's,
But
yeah,
I realized
you're
that
right. I think a little dude in some shades that might top big dude in a coat.
I wouldn't say that I'm a proponent of the Despicable Me movies, but in the fourth one, there's the trailer where they pop out of the Ferrari and they're in suits and they put sunglasses on, and I was like, "Let's fucking go!"
I was like, they had me like banana.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Yeah, butt boy.
Yeah. You know what? On that note, that is a good time. If any of you guys are checking in on our Discord, tell us what you think. List your favorite big guy in a coat or your favorite little dude in some shades.
Or-
even if it's your dog wearing your shades.
What do you prefer?
We'll take those.
Do you prefer big guy in a coat, little guy in sunglasses?
Should probably also do like a poll on Instagram.
Yeah, I should also know. Guy is I'm using that gender neutrally. I'm not
Gender
saying
neutral.
specifically a guy.
Could be a big woman. It could be whatever you
Just
want
end
it
it.
to be.
It could be like a big guy, Smaug, the
It could be
dragon.
Godzilla.
Could be Godzilla. If they put Godzilla in a big coat,
He's like, deal with it.
I think that would be my favorite movie of all time.
That's your favorite movie of all time.
Or if they shrunk him, gave him some shades,
You'd be like, I need one more.
I would need several more.
Several more.
I would need several more.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm glad that I already started us off on a tangent.
Yeah, that's a
side
great
thing.
way to start. I was not prepared for that. You said I have something I need to get off my chest, and I was like, and you're like, it doesn't have anything to do with the movies. And then I was like, I feel like he's gonna circle it back somehow, but I'm glad you didn't. So,
I was like, I need to say this on air. I have to allow myself to just live my truth.
live your truth. Yeah.
That I love a little guy in some shades. Especially
You
if
gotta
they're
get
not.
Oliver on the podcast with some
Yes,
shades.
Oliver is one of my
He's
dogs.
the littlest dude.
He is the little guy. He's the size of a loaf of bread.
Yes.
He's a tiny little man.
He's
and
a frequent collaborator and co-writer.
he really
in our
is.
project.
He's kind of a big point of creative,
Yeah.
revelation for us,
Yeah.
I suppose. for
When
me
he
to use that
suggested who
word
to
again.
kill last week, I was like,
like,
that's bold, dude.
crazy. He was like, you guys should start a podcast.
He was like, woof. And I was
Yeah.
like, amen.
And I was like, do you think we should really start a podcast? There's a lot of podcasts. And then he whipped out a pair of Ray-Bans and smacked them on his face. And I said, say no more, little guy. And here we are.
Welcome to Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
We've gone ghost.
We're going ghost.
Yes.
Is what we said last week. This is one of my favorite ones.
This until
when this came out, this was my favorite one.
Agreed.
And I was shocked because, like, at this point, everyone was sort of like, Tom Cruise is on his way out. There's a dying franchise, you know?
Yeah.
And then everyone was like,
Do we like Tom Cruise anymore?
do we like Tom Cruise
Yeah,
anymore?
it's kind of the thing.
very hot, cold. And then this one came out and we were like, I don't know the answer to that first question, but more of these, please. Like,
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think
not to spoil the end of this episode. But
up until, I mean, again, we'll get into the subsequent movies and later episodes, but 6 maybe has taken the crown of the best one.
6 probably has.
But
I think that's pretty undisputed.
if someone was to come to me and say Ghost Protocol is still my favorite, I'd be like,
I think it's a
bet.
I think that's a fair answer. I think I could not argue them on that.
Yeah.
This one's really, really fantastic.
It feels like the franchise has kind of finally landed on what it is.
Well, I feel like they found the secret sauce, and the answer is Chris McQuarrie.
That is
who
true.
does not direct this one. We have Incredibles and Ratatouille
Brad Bird.
legend Brad Bird.
Watching this again, I realized I think Brad
Also
Bird
a great addition to
might
this team.
be in talking about a series of films that are both of one of our favorite series of all times. Brad Bird, I think, is also one of our favorite filmmakers. Both of us.
Yes,
like we
collectively. Tomorrowland aside,
we can throw it in there.
We can throw it. I mean,
I haven't seen it.
I have seen it. It's probably one of the most disappointing movie experiences for me, but only because his filmography up till that point is so stacked. Like Iron Giant,
Incredibles,
The Incredibles, Ratatouille.
Those are
like Ratatouille. I literally will, if you when prompted and not prompted, as we have noticed, since I'm about to do the rant. I literally could teach a college semester using that one movie of like how to make a good movie like that. Ratatouille genuinely I think is a masterpiece, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise.
It's crazy too.
So come at me in the comments. I will be swinging the biggest sword you've ever seen,
and I'll be right behind him with a little guy with shades. Just hanging out.
Speaking of little guys in shades, how about little guys in chef hats?
Hey, anyone can cook, and anyone can be a little guy in shades. We
need a Snoopy Ratatouille crossover.
Oh my god.
Snoopy goes to France.
Dude, if Remy fucking
it's the end of the movie.
For the people listening,
it's like a 48 hours. They hate each other and then they love each other.
Love it. We need to stay on track.
No, it's not happening. We're off the rails, dude.
I really fucked us. It's my fault. But I do think
your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to stay on topic for at least an hour.
Well, I hate to tell you this omnipotent voice that I've answered through a phone. I think what's crazy about Brad Bird is that you could say, and this does not happen with every filmmaker, no disrespect to any other filmmaker, but if I were to say, name your top 3 favorite animated films or films of all time, and if you said The Iron Giant, Incredibles, Ratatouille, those are my 3 favorite animated films, you'd be like, yes, those are all 3 of the best animated films ever made.
Excellent choices.
And they're all made by the same guy.
Yeah.
That's
pretty stacked.
That is a hard thing to do.
It's a very hard thing to do, which is what I think makes Tomorrowland so surprising. And again, I don't think it's not like abysmal, but it is just like, what is this? Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're coming off of a run of Iron Giant, Incredibles, Ratatouille, Ghost Protocol, that's a pretty killer.
Following Ghost Protocol, do you know what he was offered and turned down to do Tomorrowland?
No. Am I gonna get upset?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Get ready.
Maybe the fans will get upset.
Okay.
It was actually the director from the 3rd Mission Impossible. It's J.J. Abrams. Or not, he did... sorry, I answered that completely wrong. The movie was Force Awakens.
Oh, I have heard about this.
He was offered
that
the gig first,
Brad Bird.
and he turned it down to do Tomorrowland.
I like Force Awakens.
Yes.
I am very curious to see what a Brad Bird Star Wars movie looks
I know.
like.
I'm interested what the franchise becomes had he done that. But it's also like the thing of like Tomorrowland is, critically seen as a dud.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And I find it
flop.
just to be really disappointing. It's like it's competent. I think there's elements that are fun, but like mostly I just don't think the movie works.
Yeah.
Which is shocking because like this movie works so well. Everything else he's done has worked so well.
Brad Bird is known for he's a very specific filmmaker.
He's so specific.
He knows exactly what he wants.
Yes.
And he not saying that other filmmakers don't, but like he's very intent.
There's such care taken with every choice he makes, especially in this movie, which I think is like really makes a tick. We were talking a little bit off air that this one has a fairly generic villain.
Yes.
Which I would agree with, but it's our mobster man from John Wick.
Oh yeah, it is him.
It is him. He's also
That's
in
right. That's where I
the
recognize
Swedish
that guy.
Girl with Dragon Tattoo movies. He's the Daniel Craig role in the
That's
original
cool.
ones. So a great actor. I forget his name. It's like Michael something.
He unfortunately, yeah, I think falls victim of just
It's
kind of
just they
being
don't
a
really
guy.
elaborate on like his whole MO
Yeah.
basically, which is kind of disappointing. But I think this movie still, despite that, works so insanely well because of how specific it is and how much like we have a plan and the plan's not working, but we're all improvising like crazy
I
to
also
succeed.
think when you look at Brad Bird and the way that his animated films work, he has such a rhythm. He has such a specific rhythm,
He
and I
does.
think in watching this movie, you see him like the things in this movie that are maybe cons, right? The things that are maybe the things that you'd nitpick or say are flawed. You know, like the villain being kind of nothing, you know,
Yeah, he's
kind
just
of a
sort
thing.
of a generic bad guy. You kind of could slide anyone in there.
I think
it's
the
Michael
movie.
Nyqvist. It's a very Swedish name. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm
but
so sorry.
I apologize.
Michael.
We'll put your name up on the screen.
Yes,
and
we
if
will.
you have access to IMDb and you're in your card, don't look at it until you're safe. But
Sure.
he's a great character actor. I think he's better in the John Wick movies. I think he's more interesting.
Yeah.
Because he's having fun there. But
True. But I think the thing is that like despite that issue, the movie is its rhythm that Brad Bird brings over from animation.
It
like
does.
in its action and all that stuff, it just completely kind of washes over anything for me. Like
Yeah.
I think this movie, it's one of those movies where it's like, yeah, it's got issues, but I don't really care.
I don't care either. The movie's so fun and so entertaining the whole time. We get probably the best team to date.
That is my literally
Like-
one of my first notes is I think this is probably the best team we've had
Up
so
until
far.
pretty much the next one. Like they just basically top it. But like
Yeah.
this is like
Without
of the ones.
Luther, though, I will say, bummer
That's
that
true.
Luther is not
no
involved.
Luther. We get a little Vingus King at the end.
We do get a little
It was
Vingus
always
King.
fun.
He's also the guy that Ethan is talking to on the phone. That's Luther. When there are multiple moments in the
there's like
movie
a
where
moment.
Ethan's like on the phone and he's like, "Yeah, just make sure this thing gets
He's
done."
like,
blah,
hey,
blah, blah, blah.
buddy. They're just like,
Yeah.
He's like twirling the telephone cord. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, the mission's just not going on. The technology's not fast. I know, I'm on the run again.
It's like, I know, classic
I know.
classic
I'm
Ethan.
going on the run. I'm gonna do a run.
But he is in the movie, but I use "in" with pretty heavy quotation
marks. But it's like I think it's kind of cool that like he is like that he's like a beating heart in like the previous 3 movies, and so it's fun that they're able to do another great team
Yeah,
without him, and then it's just also like next movie they're like, but we really just like it, you know, like
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool for him. But we get Benji's back.
Benji is back.
Oh, also, these are spoiler-filled conversations. Like, we should probably get better at saying that earlier. But,
Yeah.
you know, if you haven't figured
think
that
we're-
out going into this,
Yeah,
clicking
we're
in this.
episode 9, right?
Yeah,
So
if
we're
you've been listening.
This is
Have
the
you been listening?
show.
You're still listening?
We're
God bless you, and
talking.
thank you. Welcome to the conversation.
We're chatting.
But, yeah, spoilers. So, you know, Benji's back. He passed the field exam.
Yes, good for him. Again, one of the smartest
Such a
things
good
the
addition.
series did was making sure that Benji sticks around.
Yes.
It's like the stunt thing and making sure Benji sticks around, or like he becomes as integral as Luther. Like it is.
Yes.
If you're getting the Holy Trinity, right? If we're doing the Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman thing, it kind of is Tom, Ving, Simon.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then Ilsa should be up there, but
Yeah.
there is something that
Yeah,
we'll
not to
get into
too ahead of it, but I think
yeah,
by the time
you know.
Dead Reckoning rolls around, it's just sort of like,
yeah,
damn.
we'll get into it.
But,
But for now, I think this team is really good.
Yeah,
Jeremy Renner is
Jeremy
in
Renner's
this movie,
another great addition.
which I bring up early because
The man who would be many things.
the man
the man who
who
would be Hunt. The man who would be born.
was almost the lead of several. We're talking Bourne, Mission Impossible, Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters.
The man who would eat candy.
The
Man who would leave breadcrumbs.
Renner, I watched that movie, you know, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. I think I'm the only one that did.
You might be. I've never seen the trailer thinking I wanted to watch it because it just seemed fun. I have never seen it.
I couldn't tell you a thing that happens in it,
Well, that's fair.
and I saw.
Did they
I
do?
watched
Did they
it.
do breadcrumbs?
Dude, I literally
Bed crumbs? That's different.
I
He's swiping. He's cleaning a bed.
yeah, he's like, oh my god, this is so messy.
He's like Gretel.
He's like, Jeremy.
These Oreos are everywhere.
He's talking to himself. He's like, what are you doing, man? You
He's
gotta
like,
get your life together.
Hans, bro. Look at you. You let yourself go.
But
So much food in this bed.
Renner
Which is
is
gonna come and eat you if you're not careful.
Renner is positioned as potentially the guy to take over this series from Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and they do such a good job of setting it up, only to like rip the rug out in the
This
next
is the
one.
thing is that I also feel like in this movie, I feel like if you look at it through the lens of the first one, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like John Voight, obviously is not the same actor, but that's Jim Phelps, right?
Yeah.
And that series is about tossing the baton from Phelps to Hunt.
Yeah.
Right. And if presumably the idea was we're going from Hunt to Brandt, the movie has him in rooms with his arms crossed, nodding no, way too much. Like it kind of doesn't
That's
know
true.
if it half commits, and it's interesting because it half commits later in the movie.
Yeah,
He
well,
gets
it's like
more
that thing
stuff
of
to
like
do
the first
later
half
in the
is
movie.
him being like, "Nah, I don't want to do this," and then it's like, reveal, I'm a badass. Like
Yeah.
I can do anything he can do.
And I will say, Renner
I'll just complain more while it happens.
Renner is good in this.
Renner's
man.
really good. I think he adds a fun, like, he kind of grounds all the conversations a little bit where they're like, we're going to do an insane thing. And he's like, I'm sorry, let's back up a tiny bit. You want to do what?
He's kind of able to do, again,
He kind of
we've
becomes
talked
the
about-
audience a little bit.
Yeah, well, we've talked about, in the prior movies, there is always that thing where the team is always going like, Ethan, what? Like, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And he is probably the most successful at accomplishing that. It's
Yeah.
something in his delivery. I don't know what it is, but
Jeremy Renner's just got that like supporting actor thing like on lock. He's
Yeah.
really good. Like, not to say he can't lead a movie, but like when he is like in a supporting role, he is like eating.
you know what's
know?
Funny is who they also looked at to play Brandt. Do you
Who
know
was
who?
on this- no,
so
I probably knew
it
at
was
one point,
three
but-
guys. It was Renner, another actor that I cannot name for the life of me right
Josh
now.
Hartnett.
No, that would have been killer, dude.
That would be wild.
Oh
right?
my god, Josh Hartnett in a Mission Impossible movie.
Doing a trap.
Yeah. Oh, get out! Don't even get me started. Put him in some shades.
Big dude in a coat.
Oh, dude, Hartnett in a coat with shades. That's my Thanos. That's crazy. But it was
You're like, we're in the end game now.
Anthony Mackie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well that would have been fun.
Mackie, I also think would be good in a
He's
Mission
like, I'm too
Impossible
busy grabbing
movie.
a shield.
Yeah, he's like,
I gotta fight a different big dude.
I'm gonna be Captain America, and Harrison Ford is gonna get really upset.
He's gonna do a Hulk.
And become the Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Good
I
times.
but I do think Renner is very good in this. I think he's good with Peg.
He's got great chemistry with
Like he's good with
everyone.
Ethan.
I don't think he has a single conversation with. Is it Paula Patton?
Paula Patton, yes.
Yes.
As Agent Carter. Did you notice that?
Dun, dun.
Obviously,
No,
not
actually, I
everything is
didn't until
related
just now,
to
but I'm
Marvel.
like, what the hell?
But like 5 minutes in the movie, she's like, I'm Agent Carter. And I was like, it is weird because I grew up with the MCU. Like as a kid,
Yeah.
like I was 10 when
Well, this
Iron
is
Man
2011,
came out.
so this is like the same year as
Yeah, same year as First Avenger, yeah,
right?
2011.
So that's funny. 2 Carters 1 year.
Yeah. What do you know?
What do you know?
Jane here.
Ja-
Jane Carter.
Me, Tarzan, you,
You,
Jane.
Jane. Me, Ethan. Me, living manifestation of
Me.
destiny. You,
Me,
Jane.
sidewinding vampire.
That's awesome.
I meant to look up all the other things they say about him, but we'll have to do that next
We'll
week.
get into it. Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
when
that's
we
really
start,
when it starts.
When we start the living manifestation.
Yeah,
but,
we start giving him nicknames.
Yeah, but we got people hunting. So I guess we should probably start breaking down the plot a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we
How
start
would you-
with-
How would you sum up the plot? I know these movies are infamously like fairly complicated, but
Yeah.
what's your best shot at the plot for this one?
Ethan is brought. No, he's not brought out of retirement. Ethan has to
Feels
stop.
like it though, doesn't it?
It does a little bit. I would just say there's a nuke that's bad. They needed to get it. That's it.
It's a good description.
It's a pretty clean. This is maybe the cleanest, I think, in terms of it's like
It's pretty
there's-
straightforward. It's like
There's nuclear.
there's a
codes.
guy. He wants the codes.
We have to stop.
We have to get them first.
Yeah. Well, even there's that moment where he is like, there's like the little like kind of press conference video that they're showing, and it's him being like, "Wouldn't it be really cool if we just nuked everything?"
Yeah, he's like, I have a religious
He's
inkling
like-
we should just
At the UN,
end it all.
and he's like, "What if we just buried everything in rubble. Like
It's
he's
just like-
just being like, by the way,
It's a real Thanos. Let's just
evil.
eliminate half kind of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I would
And
say
you're like,
it's,
that's insane. Don't do that.
it's that they need to stop nuclear codes.
Yeah.
And
And they gotta bust Ethan out of prison first because, as he puts it later, is like if you're busting me out of there, it must be pretty bad out here.
yeah, love that. Love him using a stone as a rock or as a ball.
As a ball. Yeah, he's doing the Steve McQueen, The Great
Yes.
Escape, like.
And the fact that he has the arm strength to like bounce it like that.
You don't know what he has until he puts it back in the wall.
The moment when, or I guess we really open with the Josh Holloway with the whole
That's
Lee
true.
Saido.
Yeah.
We open in the action.
We do, which is
with a
it's a
different guy.
very quick sequence, but a very cool, like.
I think it's so funny that we
But it-
see
it-
assassin in full.
I put
like,
my
impact
first note for
font.
this movie is Agent Bad Luck Brian.
Oh yeah, that is true.
And then my second note is Bad Luck Guard? Question mark? Because that one when they start opening the doors, it's like
Yeah, that
there's one
poor
guy's
guy.
like, "Hey, get back in your cell," and then like two more guards come out, and he's like, "Oh shit."
Oh wait, you guys are gonna beat me up.
Oh,
Oh.
damn! And I spilled my coffee this morning too.
Yeah, he's like, come on, guys, it's Monday.
But yeah, no, Josh Holloway is just like, "What's a oh shit
Yeah. It's like,
assassin?"
Oh, I think my
Assassino.
DoorDash driver is here.
And I was
Assassin.
like, bling. I was like, "Oh
It's
no!"
shot.
He's like, "Oh, it's another spam call."
It's yeah. I think that's funny. I think the
It's
movie,
kind of funny, and it's like kind of the secret to her assassinating is walking up just before people realize who she is and
Yeah.
killing them. So there's a moment later where she's like, "I've killed the best," and then 10 minutes later, when they get into the big scrap, Paula Patton like bum rushes her, and she like flails
Yeah,
with
she
the gun.
freaks
She's like,
out.
she's like, "Ah!"
doesn't know what to do.
And I was like, she's I think set up to be one of the greatest assassins in the world, and she crumpled under that pressure
Yeah.
so badly.
No, it's
Which I think works though, because I think it does seem like her whole thing is kind of sneaking up on people and just like
Yeah.
shooting them before they realize she's a threat. And
Yeah,
that's, like,
she's just
so
moving
I think
in
it's kind
and
of
out.
funny, but I do also think the idea of her being like, "I'm the best at this," and just folding like a deck of cards.
the second Paula Patton goes at her.
She's like, "Roar!" Like, you know,
She's like, wait, time out.
she literally going for a timeout. She gets rushed at the end.
No, but
Um,
I love. I think this movie, honestly, from the get go, like from the prison thing, you go like,
It's
oh,
so fun.
We're
They're playing Dean Martin. in
Yeah,
The
love
Escape.
that.
Like,
The shot when the door opens and Tom catches the rock one more time and he turns his head towards
Yeah.
the door and you just catch like they wait
it's
to
like-
reveal
it's
his face.
just like a sliver.
I love that we kind of like with each movie we are reintroducing Ethan.
Yes. I think this is one of his best reintroductions.
Yes. Well, because he also, and this is kind of a tired screenwriting term, but this is kind of the only thing I can think of right now.
Save the cat.
Save the cat.
Save the cat.
And in this one, it's save the Bogdan.
Save the Bogdan.
Bogdan is kind
is
of-
hilarious.
love
I would
Bogdan.
love to see him come back.
I literally have a note that says I just want to see a spin-off film of Ethan and Bogdan like
Just-
in prison, like Shawshank, just like them just hanging out.
Just all the monologues.
Yeah, like I think that'd be so fun, and he's getting to know Ethan Hunt as Sergey.
Yeah. Not Sergey.
It's it's so great.
This whole sequence is fun. I think every sequence in this, every like heist, every escape, every like impossible mission. I think this movie, like pound for pound, has like the best ones.
The set pieces are
The
fantastic.
set pieces are pretty great. I also there's a quote from Brad Bird. I think he's specifically just talking animation and storytelling.
Sure.
I forget what event it's for, but he has a great quote that he's like, "There is pleasure to be had in sneaking around." And this movie has that like in spades.
Well,
Especially like in this first part, it's so quiet up like, and then when you finally get like music, it's Dean Martin, you know,
Yeah,
and it's
love
just
that.
like kicking the head, like
Well, I think
so good.
we talked about last week how in Mission Impossible 3, it's not. We didn't really say it in this manner of speaking, but like, it's not. I don't want to say it's not funny, but you know what I mean? It's more interested in being earnest. And
It's just very like,
not that I want the movie to be self-deprecating.
no, it's not. It's just like, it's so like, yeah, this is happening. So
Yeah.
like, get on board. Like, it really is just like,
And I think this one finds the right rhythm of being, earnest but still having fun. And I specifically think the moment where Ethan and Benji are talking through the security camera,
Yeah, and
he's like telling him to open the door,
open it, and he's like, no, and they're like bickering like a couple.
Yeah, like I'm like, okay, yeah, now we're finding the rhythm of this.
I'm like, that
series.
is like my favorite stuff, and they do that a lot in this one where they're talking through the security cameras.
Yes, love
and
that.
It's so good. I don't
all
get tired
of
it.
The comedy, I think, for the most part, really works.
I can't think of a joke that doesn't work.
But yeah, we got Ethan going through and he's fighting his way through all the people.
Yeah,
because he has
a deal of like, well, I'm actually part of my mission. I have a mission in here. I'm not just,
doing.
I'm
not just hanging out.
I'm not just hanging out in prison because I've become evil. I'm actually on a different mission and apparently aborting that mission to do this other thing. So that's a pretty fun. I love the they get him out and he's like, Benji, like I didn't actually know who I was talking to. Like he's even like, there's so much chemistry. He doesn't even know who's like he's talking to. He's just like, I know I'm talking to someone, so do it. And then he gets there, Benji. I love the setup though of the payphone giving the mission.
Yes.
And then when it doesn't self-destruct, kicking off that the MIF has not been like keeping up on their shit.
Well, I think we've talked about this off air. I think you've said this before, that Bird had a thing where he was like, I want the tech to fail.
Yeah.
That he was like, I want that to be the complication that the tech doesn't work.
It's so good because like for me, like I found myself, I was just like white knuckling this whole movie. And I've seen it like 3 or 4 times.
Same.
And I love it.
I've seen this movie
but it's like,
times.
It's such a like, it's jazz, like it's just like we have a plan and it is not going well. And so like we are literally every single sequence is us overcoming that through the skin of our teeth.
Yes.
Because we are the best.
I mean, the movie,
and it's like, that is like what makes mission is that it's like you have the most insane plan and then of course it goes off the rails.
Yeah.
And it's so, the recovery in that is like what makes this movie so fun.
And I like the movie kind of almost like a mission statement, almost stating it with the phone to be like, the mission has started. The tech is already fucking up.
Already not working.
Yeah. I think that's so great. Like Tom turning back and like going to the phone because he's like, that's supposed to blow up. Like kind of a thing.
Yeah. That's great. And then it's like, immediately he's like, so what we doing, boss? We're breaking into the Kremlin. And he's like, I just thought you said the Kremlin.
Wait. We didn't even get to say this. I just want to say, light the fuse is the coolest fucking line.
That is cool. It's also the first time they've physically
lit
the
it.
Fuse. Like
I feel like we would be.
To me, that was like
filled with regret to not bring this part up.
We have to do, because it's so cool. Because it's like, one, they haven't actually ever lit a real fuse. In these movies to this point, and that's like how the show in the movie, like, just to like actually do it in camera is like so fun, and then to do the like, we're seeing things from like this episode, it's so cool. It's so Mission Impossible.
I think
in the most beautiful way.
We talked about last week how like that the scene with Hoffman and them was probably the best opening scene, but I think this is the best opening credits.
I would agree with that.
I think this is the best one. The light, the fuse going in, and then the camera going through the movie. I'm with you, 100% with you.
It's like, so good, and then like the reveals of like, oh, is Renner actually a bad guy? What's going on? Like, there's so many, like, it sets up like random questions that like percolate the whole time you're watching it. Of like, well, who is this guy? And it's just, it's so much fun.
And the movie is, I love that. I mean, from before, but the second we light the fuse, it's like one of those things, like the movie doesn't really let up. Like it
really doesn't.
It just moves at a pace the whole time, and
it's good. Again, you said the Brad Bird's got like a musical, like a rhythm.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Well, it's even crazy to think we talk about with the Spider-Man movies, with that first Spider-Man movie, we talk about the efficiency of storytelling and like how efficient that first movie is. I do think it's crazy that 15 minutes into the movie, there's like 3 action set pieces.
Yeah.
We like are just going through, it's like the movie is like,
it.
We're an action movie, so there's going to be some fucking action.
Yeah.
And we don't lose plot. Like we're still moving with the story.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's a crazy that he's managing to thread that needle.
Mm-hmm.
That he's able to do a couple different set pieces that were, that and still keep us going and not have it feel too distracted that we just kind of hit the ground full speed.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's just like we're going into it. They're like, next up, Russia.
Yes. I also love the bit with Bogdan where he says, I always take care of my friends. And then he immediately tranquilizes him and has him escorted into an unmarked van. And like,
dude goes from prison to being kidnapped like right
yeah,
away.
like it's like, it's Ethan, like obviously, and then later in the movie, like Bogdan's fine, but I just think it's a funny gag to be like, I always take care of my friends. Doof! And he's just like gone.
You don't tranquilize your friends?
No.
I tranquilize you like once a week.
Wait. Ain't that a kick in the head?
Nice.
But yeah, I just think that's very funny.
That's very funny. I think the Kremlin, breaking into the Kremlin is so fun when they like have to upload the face and the Tom Cruise running around with the hat and the mustache.
Silly disguises.
I
love
the MO. And then whatever this like projector wall thing they're doing. So good.
The projector wall is probably, of the whole series, one of my favorite.
That's a top 5 like spy thing that they do in the franchise for me.
That one specifically, and I don't know if I'm speaking just to myself when I say this, but when I watch that sequence, and with the whole movie, but specifically that sequence, I can see in my mind's eye, for lack of a better term, I see it animated like The Incredibles. Like I can see the style and the rhythm. It feels straight out of his animated work.
Yeah,
and I say
like
that as a compliment.
No dialogue
obviously.
for like 6-7 minutes.
It's in silence.
It's just the bloop,
yeah.
bloop.
I also love Benji being really excited, and like when they're like the
yeah, he's like a whole like, I'm really excited to be her boss. Like,
and he's like, Benji, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's just funny. I'm like, yeah, Simon Pegg, that's one of his lines. He's just saying that.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm
they
in Mission
dubbed
Impossible.
in the Ethan part. He's like talking to Tom Cruise right now.
Well, even when like they're having trouble at the door when he's like trying to scan the ID, and it's not working, and then it finally works, and Benji feels the need to turn and be like, yeah, watch yourself. Like,
watch. I'm like, he's so much fun.
He's just like hamming it up. He's like, I'm in the field. This is fun. It's so good.
It's so fun.
But yeah, I love the tech of the screen. I love the perspective of it.
I love that it can't work when there's 2 people.
That's my favorite part.
It's such a fun detail of like, oh yeah, we can't get it to work with 2 people. It's just the technology's not there yet.
Well,
this insane piece of technology, it's still like the first version.
It makes for a great reveal too. Like I can see a different version where like they run, like someone is like, oh, like, blah, blah, like, there's a break-in, go stop them, and they run into the screen, and then they're like, what kind of a thing. Yeah, which I don't think is bad, but I think the camera being like confused, and you watch the
perspective
move.
Like switching is so one. It's like it's just a great visual.
Well, because then as they run and they push it aside, you see it continue to warp. Yeah, and it's such a good reveal.
It's such a cool device, which is so funny because like that guy's head was down. They probably could have just like from like across with the same thing.
Speaking of someone's head, Benji popping up into the camera and Ethan pushing him down. It's stuff like that where I'm like, that isn't an animated movie.
That isn't an animated
movie. That is a rhythm that is so...
It's so specific.
It's crazy that we're watching like live action, for lack of a better term. Yeah. Like live action things this happen.
The beat to beat like minutia that Brad Bird is bringing is just magical to watch. But yeah, this is one of my favorite sequences, them breaking into the Kremlin. I also love they have like a tiny balloon drone.
The balloon drone, I forgot about that.
Pops and drops stuff into a chimney, apparently.
It's hilarious. I love this series, its dedication to gadgets.
Yes.
I love that we're constantly doing new gadgets and new things.
The gadgets don't work.
Especially when we're in an era of like, again, kind of like the last one where it's like we're in like Bourne, where it's like we're kind of like everything's serious.
Yeah, and between Bourne and Bond, everyone's like, fuck gadgets.
Yeah.
Not Mission Impossible, though. They're like, that's the best part is the gadgets.
Yeah, which talking about, we've talked about Ethan Hunt as a character, that it's like he's not Bond, he's not Bourne. Like he is his own person. You need to allow him to be his own character and not just like a echo of another spy. That this one, it's like, no, like it doesn't, like, I understand that like the current, that everyone else is swimming downstream and that we're not doing gadgets. It's like, no, go against the current.
Yeah,
like the gadgets
is going
are
downstream,
fun.
So yeah, the gadgets are the best part, man.
They're the best part.
I feel like this movie had so much fun with the gadgets that when they did the next James Bond, they were like, okay, let's finally do Q. Maybe gadgets are cool.
Like, all right, give him the gun with the fingerprint. Like,
we'll do fingerprint gun.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's funny. I love
CGI hands.
It's that I think we've said this before. No one takes off and on a jacket like Tom Cruise.
No.
When he runs out of that Kremlin and he goes in from Russian general to Bruce Springsteen's #1 fan. Like
it's very like Clark Kent Superman kind of moment.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll take something like that in James Gunn's Superman.
I'm into it. We'll see.
I'll take it. Hey,
we'll see.
We'll see.
It is also crazy that they blow up the Kremlin.
I know, pretty dramatic.
Like obviously it's a movie. Like you know, like what it was fake.
Fun fact:
but
the Kremlin did not actually explode in this movie.
I found that out when I watched the movie because
I found that out when I just said it.
Really? That's crazy. That's pretty. That's we are really unpacking this episode.
Not as good as a little
things.
Man with shades, but
I'm telling you, take a little guy, put him in shades, and he is the coolest motherfucker in the room. He owns the space.
Owns the space. Michael J. Fox.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad we're in agreement. That we're in agreement.
Yeah, we are. Big dude in a coat, little man with shades.
Yes. A big guy going,
perhaps
hey, what's
they
the
teaming
matter?
up, you know?
They're looking at each other from different, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, like hey, Muggsy.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just look at the rabbits.
We got to start writing after this episode. Sorry, we're writing
Yeah.
a movie. It's called Big Guy and Little Guy, one in coat, one in shades. That's what it's called. Dawn of Justice.
Big coat versus little shades.
Yeah, let's go.
Tokyo Drift.
But yeah, I mean,
But yeah, so they blow up the Kremlin.
the movie's nonstop. Ethan wakes up in the hospital.
It is, again, he literally, I feel like, does not get a break in this movie. Like,
No.
it's just like you really are like going from one shit show to another.
Yes, and we meet.
This is what I imagine making like a full feature movie is like.
Probably, I'm sure Brad Bird would probably be like, "Yeah,
This is all
you're right on the
allegorical to
money
the
there."
filmmaking experience.
And then we meet one of the side characters. I don't think the side characters are as good in this one, unfortunately. Like,
Probably not.
they're just not as
They're just not as memorable.
specific. I mean, we learn that he's an ally, that he's on the good side. But when he shows up in the hospital talking to Ethan, being like,
Oh,
"You're
yeah.
the guy,"
It's like,
I did coin him Sinister McTrenchcoat in my notes.
That's a good name.
Thank you.
Yeah. He's not big enough to be memorable. He's not small enough to rock the shades. So.
Exactly. He's a medium guy in a coat.
He's a medium guy in a regular coat that fits.
He does have a cigarette.
He does have a cigarette,
But
and
he
an
doesn't
accent.
light it.
Does not light it.
You gotta light it.
Yeah, but he's in a hospital. You can't.
I do love the nurse.
The
That's
nurse.
like, what the fuck are you doing?
You cannot smoke here.
It's like just carts him off.
She says in English.
Yeah, she's like, hey, by the way, we're in Russia. Don't.
We're in Russia, which is why I'm speaking English.
Yeah, this movie is
No smoking.
American. But
Who says it better, her or Tommy Lee Jones in Men in Black 2? No smoking.
that's. Well, here's the thing. This is the better movie.
Fair.
Men in Black 2.
Has some big guys though. Oh, they don't wear a trench coat. Well, there is a big guy in a trench coat.
And wait, do the worm
Java?
guys ever wear sunglasses?
I think they do. One of them has to.
Now we're cooking.
I think I just
Frank? That's a little guy in a
That's a
suit.
little dude. Dude, she's got to wear the shades. That's the whole point of Men in Black.
Oh my God.
We're gonna have to start ranking little dudes in shades.
I can't wait for people like there's the people that are listening to the audio and they're just hearing me just be incomprehensible, and the
Yeah.
people on video watching me just have like a moment.
Yeah. Hey, you confessed it. This is part of the show now.
I didn't realize how big a fan I was until I started to
You've
say it
sold
out
me
loud.
on, man. I'm on board for this now. That's how
Yeah.
I rank these movies.
Mission Impossible 2 is not a very good movie, but it is worth it because Frank the Pug is in a suit and wears shades. That's pretty rad.
Mission Impossible 2 or Men in Black 2?
Men in Black 2. Frank the Pug,
Frank the Pug.
uncredited appearance in Mission Impossible 2.
Singing I Will Survive.
I Will Survive. That's right.
Yeah. Classic.
But no,
Lori
but
Gaynor.
I think, again,
Yes.
I love that the movie carts it off, that Ethan instantly is trying to get out of the hospital. I love Sinister McTrenchcoat being like, wait, where did he go? And he looks out the window and Ethan is just
Just on the
shirtless
wall.
on the side of a
And it's like-
building.
then he lights the cigarette. I
Yeah,
think.
that's right. He does light the
He
cigarette.
puts it back in his mouth like, not a very good plan, was it? And he's like, you got me. This wasn't very good.
Yeah, he gives a. I don't remember if he says something, but he does give kind of like a. I thought that this was.
He was like, it seemed like a good idea in the moment. And then like a truck pulls up and he's like, aha, bitch.
Yep. Love that. I also love again, kind of like the car when he puts his hand up in 3. He rappels down with the belt. He rolls off the car and lands on the ground,
Yeah.
and Ethan gives another look of like, oh fuck, that worked. Like, he kind of, and there's the look where he
damn,
looks
I'm
up
good.
at McTrenchcoat, and McTrenchcoat is like, wait a second.
He's like, did he just roll a nat 20?
Oh,
they were
wait.
like, it was like he rolled an 18. I
He's
think.
literally like, oh, he's out of the hospital. Fuck.
like, shit.
Has
The
to
fact-
run away.
Okay, but the timing of him, like they stare at each other, like that worked.
Yeah.
Gun.
They have the exact same
The timing of him
realization.
pulling out the gun as like a period to that interaction is so funny. But yeah, so Ethan escapes.
Yeah,
He makes
proves
his
that
way.
he's clinically insane.
Yes. And then ends up
And this
rendezvousing.
Is when we
We introduced Tom Wilkinson
Yes,
as the attorney.
I
Or
assumed
no, he's the secretary of the
secretary.
state? Or the secretary of the MIF.
They just refer to him as the secretary.
Yeah.
I have assumed he's the secretary of IMF. That he's the new
it's like I
guy.
assumed he didn't because they said he was literally giving medals to like presidential freedom. Maybe he's both. Maybe he's secretary of
I
state
don't know.
and it's like a dual
But
position.
We meet him and we meet Renner.
We meet Renner.
We were talking about Tom Clancy in the last episode.
Yeah.
Brant is Jack Ryan.
Yes.
He's basically just Jack
Literally,
Ryan.
they were like, well, what if
He's
Jack
an
Ryan
analyst
came
with
in to take over
A back
the role?
story.
Yeah, he's like, I'm an analyst, but I have. I mean, he
He's-
starts off, and I think this is part of, I think, probably what went on behind the scenes of, because there were two other guys who wrote the first script
Yeah.
that they used, but then Chris McQuarrie was brought in to do like some major rewrites. But apparently, a lot of his changes are in the back half.
Yeah.
And they are in regards to Brant's like mission and stuff. And so I feel like that's probably why he changes so much in the back half
Yeah.
and being like a huge badass. But it's like funny that they're like, he's an analyst who can also kicks the crap out of people. But it's like when you read like any Jack Ryan book, like he's just an analyst.
Yeah,
Like,
Ryan
like when he
is-
gets into a scrap, it's just literally because he's a scrappy guy. It's not because he's got like spy training
Yeah.
at all. Like, and they've sort of made that like standard
That he's
for
like
him
in
is
the
that
Marines or something.
well, yeah, he's got like I have like basic skills, but he's not like a martial arts expert, but he just has like regular military training. And then like, I think like as they've been doing more and more, I think the Chris Pine version and the
The Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. John Krasinski.
John Krasinski. Thank you.
Yeah.
The Krasinski version, I think they're like, we need to soup him up to compete. Like, and I'm
Sure.
like, that's kind of not the point of this character. But that being said, Renner is doing a great version of actual Jack Ryan that we don't really ever get to see in the movies. But is like, I'm a guy who doesn't like to be involved in any of this shit, but you can crudely draw a man's face and I could tell you who it is.
Love Ethan just being like, "Who's this?" Like, just
There's moments in this movie they're like, we don't have access to a database, and he's just like, Renner,
just-
get your butt over here and tell me who
4
this man is.
seconds. He's like, "Who's this man?"
And I will say that is a anytime we're watching a movie and someone that both Abby and I recognize, and she goes, "That's the guy from," and I'm like, "Shameless."
Yeah, I feel you.
William H Macy.
Yep, I'm the same way. People will call me and they'll be like, "Who's
Willem
the
Dafoe.
person from this thing, from that?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about."
that's I'm Jeremy Renner with faces from movies.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do love Tom Wilkinson.
J.K.
So,
Simmons.
Ethan goes rogue yet again,
Yes.
but this time sanctioned.
Sort of
They tell him to,
unofficially sanctioned.
unofficially sanctioned.
Because
Tom
if you get caught,
Wilkinson-
we're gonna have to leave you out to dry, bro. But
yeah,
we're strongly suggesting you go rogue.
he literally is like, "Listen, we're gonna arrest you, but if I turn around
If I don't
and you're
see
not
ya,
there."
if I'm not there and you grab the mission out of my hand,
I think that's so funny. Him being,
I love it. Even the way like Renner looks at him like, "Are you,
what the fuck,
bitch?"
What? We're just letting him to do this, and even
just
Ethan
telling him
is
to
like,
go Rick. Ethan's like, are
"Hmm."
you telling me to go rogue?
Part of the thing is that I
You
go
telling me to live
rogue-
Moss?
We were talking about Taco Bell before we started to
Yeah.
record. Sometimes I hear the bell to live Moss.
Sometimes Ethan's got this whole movie's them
We've
thinking
talked
outside
about
the
Taco
bun.
Bell in this show before.
did.
This is just my crusade to get
We're trying to get sponsorship.
from Taco Bell.
If anyone wants to pay us to eat Taco Bell on this.
But
sell
so
out pretty
obviously
hard.
the car explodes.
The car explodes.
As cars in action movies
Tom
tend to
Wilkinson
do.
is unfortunately shot in the head.
Yeah, he's out of the movie pretty quick.
They JFK'd his ass.
No, they did.
And they RFK'd Carrie Russell on the other one.
Oh no, they brainwormed her. That sucks, dude. Oh my god, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, sure. I had that joke written down for last week. It didn't make it.
Hey,
I took the shot this week, though.
We taking a shot. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean,
sponsored by Maker's Mark.
I love the bit. I mean, obviously, yeah, Tom does the whole thing with the flare. To draw the
That's
gunfire.
a great moment too of him being like, "So what the hell was your plan, bro?"
I love this thing. Renner nails the like. Wait a second. What is the rules of a Mission Impossible movie?
He's just like, "What are the rules and why did that work?" And he's just like,
"Yeah,
I'm just playing a hunch." Like,
well, there is even
like I really don't know what he's gonna do, but I know if I don't do something, it's gonna blow up in my face.
Where Renner is like, "Oh, what do you think they were thinking?" And he's like, "I didn't think they were thinking. I was thinking they were shooting."
Like just anything that moved, I just gave him a better target.
All right,
and it was like that works, and it's like I think that also like solidifies the difference between the characters.
Yeah,
is that Ethan will, if he sees an opening, he'll just take it. Renner will. Like indecision is like sort of his like Achilles heel, and that's like part of he's an analyst, but it's like as you learn his like backstory of like should I shouldn't I is like the thing that haunts him, and he's just looking at Ethan like this guy just fucking goes for it, like like I'm like that's not a plan, and he's like it's the start of one.
Just thinking of Hamilton right now. His pace is relentless. He wastes no time. He doesn't hesitate.
He just wants
he
to be.
Exhibits no restraint.
No
takes. I'm gonna stop before we get copyright infringement.
Ethan wrote the other 54.
That's awesome. Ethan climbed the tallest building in the world.
In the room where it happened.
That's awesome.
At the end of the movie, hey, I got a confession. I was in the room when it happened with your wife and all that.
That's true. And
Ethan's
like,
you cucked me, and he's like, what?
Hey. But no,
no one cucks Tom Cruise.
I do love the.
I feel like I'm setting up like a precedence, and there's no basis for that. I don't think
that's Les Grossman saying that.
Well, I guess that's the plot of Eyes Wide Shut. Is him like thinking he's being cucked?
Yeah, that is the plot of it. I guess,
he's like, I'm gonna be all angsty about it for 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
I haven't actually seen that movie. I've seen 5 minutes. It's okay.
But the train bit, fun. I like the idea that they are.
Where's the train? Oh, it's over here.
Yeah. Oh shit. And they have to like jump up to like get the eye scan.
Yeah.
Thing, dude. As a short king, I get it. I get it.
You're Tom Cruise running up.
I've been there. Yeah, the amount of times, look, if there is a dish on the second level of a cupboard,
you're like blue as glue, baby.
Yes, I'm literally fucking getting my way up there. God forbid I have to get like a mug in the back. I'm like full John, like fucking
and then you have to
John
pendulum
McClane.
Back to the sofa. For movie night.
I am acting out Evel Knievel level stunts in order to have tea. But no, I do think it's. I love the train being cool on the inside.
It is. It's a cool train. That's a cool.
It's pretty good.
If I could build a man cave, I think we've done all right with what I got.
Agreed.
But as a space, I do aspire for the train set.
That it's this like thing. I love Renner bumping into a wall and it just revealing several guns, and he's like, just kind of like,
I'm a nerd.
It's like, oh no, well, because he has that moment where he's like, I didn't unintentionally do that, and Simon Pegg is looking at him like, are you dumb? Like he got him.
He's like, God, even their computer hacker guy's cooler than me.
He's like, wait, I'm the guy in the chair, and I'm cooler than you.
Benji's giving him looks like, am I cooler than this guy? I think I'm cooler than this guy. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Benji does have a great, when Benji obviously is now in the field, he's stoked to be there. Yeah. And they're like, great, the plan. And Benji's like, yep, the plan. Okay, the plan ideas in my head. Let's go.
Require me to wear a mask, just saying.
Love him.
Not attached to it, but if I could wear one, Bob's your uncle.
Well, there's a moment where he pitches an idea and everybody kind of looks at him, and I literally quoted it because I just love where he just goes, well, it's not all going to be gold. Is what he says.
It's not all going to be gold.
He's like, listen, I'm just throwing stuff against the wall.
That is such classic, we're writing a movie.
That is what it's like writing a movie.
He's like, well, if we do that, that third act doesn't make sense.
It's not all going to be gold, is it?
Let's keep working. We love the movies, baby.
But yeah, and does that take us right into Dubai?
Literally, they're like, our mission is Dubai next, and then they go to Dubai, and then it's like a grab whatever you can grab. So they grab some gloves.
Yes.
They grab some a mask making machine.
Yes.
Probably several guns.
Probably.
Presumably.
This is the only one where Ethan doesn't directly kill anyone.
No.
Interesting.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Does
This
he
is
shoot, does he
his.
shoot a gun in this one?
He
does, right?
This is his Batman and Robin. I cannot believe I just said that.
Elaborate.
In that when it's the first one where Batman doesn't kill anybody.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Ethan doesn't shoot a gun in that first one, but he is dropping bodies under trains.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
He's like, no guns, but I will break your neck so violently.
Yep. Way to go, Ethan. Good stuff.
Yeah.
The Ethan climbing outfit, the Burj Khalifa outfit that he wears.
Capri pants with goggles.
Yeah, maybe the most 2010 thing I've ever
Probably.
seen in my life. The like clear goggles have like lines and like wiring and stuff in these like plastic goggles.
Dude looks like he escaped from like the Cody Banks movies for like 2 seconds.
Oh my dude, could you Agent Cody Banks? Another little guy with shades.
Another little guy with shades.
We're finding them. They're everywhere.
They're finding them as the show
Throw
develops.
a stone and you hit a little guy with shades.
Please, for the sake of this, guys, let us know who your favorite little dude in shades are. Even if it's in your personal life, send us a photo. We will elucidate to the audience and the world more little dudes in shades.
Mine's Joe Cool.
Yeah.
It's Joe Cool. He's the OG.
Danny DeVito, I'm sure wears shades.
Surely. Yeah.
Yes. You ever see Get Shorty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's got to wear shades
on the poster. He's in shades.
He's Shorty.
I can't believe we're talking about the poster to Get Shorty, and we're currently in the Burj Khalifa sequence of Mission Impossible.
Okay, I will say once the Dubai sequence starts, they're just like it's like they're just slowly pressing the gas pedal for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Until like by the time they're even like coming back in from the heist, they're just like we are flooring it. Not like in a pace way, but just in terms of like tension of like the drama does not stop. It continues to get more like the mission's going off the rails in the most entertaining way for us, but for them, the most headache inducing way.
Dubai, the Burj Khalifa sequence, this is the moment I think the movie as a whole, but this specific sequence, this is the moment where Mission Impossible turns. This is where the franchise changes.
The fuck in.
Yeah. The second, it's an unbelievable shot.
No, it is. It's like basically once they like pop that window out and he's staring at the drop, it's
when
like
the camera goes out,
what mission will be for the next 5 movies.
And he makes that first turn onto the glass.
Yes.
The second that happens, the franchise is different.
Everything has changed. Now it's officially Mission Impossible. Like the series starts here.
In
every way.
We've both seen this movie many times. Every time the camera goes out over the building, and we are just in the air, I literally like shrink back into my seat in tension.
And it's shot in IMAX apparently, which I did not know. I did not have the pleasure to see this in theaters.
I think I did see this one in theaters.
I did not start seeing them in theaters until 5.
5 is the first one that I very vividly remember seeing in theaters.
Yeah, which I can't wait to talk about 5 because 5 is so much fun for other reasons.
5 is kind of underrated because it's in between 4
and 6, which are like
the two best
dueling.
Ones,
that's just like it's like Kong versus Godzilla. You know, they're just like who will be king?
It's like a little guy in shades and a big guy in a coat. And then a regular guy in a coat with an unlit cigarette in the middle, if you will.
Yeah,
if you will. Still cool. But there's a big guy and there's a little guy over here.
It's kind of hard to beat the other two things.
Exactly. But no, I do love, like you said, this is kind of where everything comes to.
It really does.
This
is what we're going to start doing for the next 10 years.
I love Benji workshopping the character where he's like, I should put a mask on. And they're like, we're not giving you a mask. He's like, it's fine. I'll play it French. Like,
that was one of my favorite lines.
It's such a great. He's like,
you're right.
Don't worry. I've already thought of playing.
You're right. I'll wear a mask eventually. That's a point of contention in the next one where he's just like, Benji wants to wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
I want a mask.
He does. Hey, he deserves it.
He does.
He's a good guy. But I love the idea of we're doing the same meeting in 2 different rooms.
It's so like probably literally right above each other. Like it's just
presumably
the next floor.
the next floor.
And so he's got to break in because the reason he has to go outside the Burj Khalifa is because they can't hack into the thing.
They have to get
because
in.
IMF doesn't exist anymore. They realize they actually can't phone a friend to hack it faster, so they have to directly.
Simon Pegg has that great moment where he's like, so one slight problem, the server room, we have to access it from the outside. And everyone kind of like looks at him and they're like, what do you mean the outside?
They're like, go on.
And And fucking Simon Pegg being like, I'm in the computer. And Ethan,
I do the computer thing. And the runner's just like,
I'm the helper.
I'm a helper. I'm busy, bro. I can't. You're the insane guy with a concussion. Like, you're the guy you're Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, this is your thing.
Yeah.
I love everybody just basically all taking a step backwards. So Ethan is in front.
He's still like trying to like, well, just hack it. And he's like, we do not have time for that.
And obviously, blue is glue, red is dead.
Red is dead.
This movie's
Good.
Hasta Lasagna, don't get any on ya.
Such a good callback. Rip.
Emilio
Emilio Estevez. I almost said Danny something. I don't know where I was going to go with it, but
I don't
thought
know
his name
what
was Danny for a second.
Name is.
I feel like his name is Danny.
Yeah,
I don't know. Not important.
Yeah,
He
but
took an elevator to the face. He's
what I love about, and I think I said this in the last episode, with the shaky cam that in 3, that this series and its action is the best when we are in a wide shot. We're letting Tom do something. When we do the extreme wide and the camera's pulling back as Tom is climbing the building, anytime you can see him or whoever the performer is, but generally it's Tom in this series.
Yeah.
When you see him doing the thing, that is the money. Like, that is what
you're like, this is a movie.
Yeah, this is cinema.
This is cinema.
This is what we're talking about. And
this is America.
And that's why this action, like, like the camera is not, it's not the most hyper stylized thing in the world, like, but it's very deliberate. It's very intentional.
Very deliberate. It's very well done.
Bird is an incredibly specific filmmaker.
He
is. And he knows.
His attention to detail is just so good.
100%. And it's the smart move to be like, Tom is climbing the world's biggest building. We cannot cover that up. We cannot make people think that he's not actually doing this, because he is. Yeah. And that's what's exciting about it.
It is. I think this is the first time that the stunts of the franchise have become part of the marketing.
Totally. This
is like, come see him attempt to kill himself. It's like some real Evel Knievel level like marketing, and it's like a huge selling point. Because this movie did well. It had a budget of $145 million, and this one at this point is the highest grossing of the franchise at this point at $694.
That's good, man.
The previous ones had like just cracked 500, and so this one almost cracking 700 was a big deal.
We're the era
they were like, we're back.
The era we're in now, where it's like every movie has to make $100 billion, like it has to make $1 billion to break even or whatever. Yeah. Like that is a
stupid.
That is a silly
frankly.
Benchmark. We should not be like thinking that is normal, because it's certainly not.
With love to all the producers who thought that was a good benchmark, but fuck you.
Billion is a rarity. It is not something that you often achieve.
Yeah. But this one did like really well.
Yeah.
Especially again, like we talked last week, the last one underperformed, even though it did well. It made money. It underperformed in the first two.
Sure.
But like this one, like it had like I think the highest critical reception and the highest grossing at that point. I don't have the numbers in front of me for the next ones that are going to come, but we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it next week. We were talking about some of the members on the team, and we've talked about Benji, and we've talked about Brandt.
Yes.
Carter, Paula Patton. So she is probably the strongest.
She's like one of the strongest ones we've gotten to date, but she's got the same issue that the other ones do.
The unfortunate thing, I think it's that, and they just give her more dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, it's that thing of like,
she's just more engaged with the plot, I guess.
She's more engaged, and it is that thing that it's a.
Yeah, because like Maggie Q just sits on the sidelines. She does her like job, but she's really not talking. And then she has like one scene with Jonathan Rhys Myers. Yeah, and it's like, it's like she just doesn't. She's not super.
Yeah, she's not a character. They don't make them a character. No, they're just like there to be on the team.
It was like a weak attempt in that one. And this one, she has a little bit more. She's like newer. She had a relationship with Josh Holloway, and so she's sort of on a revenge quest.
One thing where I'm like, okay, so we're giving her a backstory, but we are tying it specifically to a relationship.
Yeah,
it's just that
disappointing.
It's just that her boyfriend is killed, and like, And then we do kind of and again, maybe this is kind of like the shaky cam thing with like the hindsight, but like, you know, we do the thing where it's like Paula Patton gets into an action sequence and it's like, with who? It's like the only other female character in this movie.
Yeah, Leia Seydoux?
Leia Seydoux, yeah.
Seydoux. She's great.
She's great in this. I think also
pre-Bond girl, pre-Dune.
That's true. You know, the character itself is the silent killer. So her doing that thing,
pretty much
she's
just
working
a trope.
for what
she's a trope, but I mean, like for what
it's an error. It's
this
an
is
archetype.
allowing. You know, it's pretty great.
But yeah, Paula Patton, I think is good in this. I think she's good in it.
It's kind of like it's kind of a shame she didn't come back for the next one.
Yeah.
But that being said, we get Ilsa Faust, who
Ilsa is iconic.
Bodies the problem that they've been having for so long.
I would love to see Patton return. I think she'd be great. Yeah. But yeah, I think she's good in this. It's that thing of like,
she feels like I'm sorry not to interrupt, but she feels like a movie star version of Kamala Harris.
Like in just appearance.
Not in terms of politics, but I thought was she kind of looked like Kamala.
Like Kamala.
I don't know.
I can see that.
I just thought it was funny. I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, I do. It was weird when I was thinking about the character that I was like, oh yeah, she really her only deal is I'm sad my boyfriend is dead.
A little bit, yeah.
Which is not really a lot, and we don't even focus on it that much.
No,
there's just a cutaway to it, and then it does set up kind of subtext.
It does set some good like tension of like don't kill her, and like she's like, but I really want to.
Yeah,
you know, which I think is kind of it's like another like thing. But once the Dubai mission wraps up, you know, she kicks that bitch out a window. So,
yeah, in the third act, she's just like standing next to Benji.
Yeah.
Benji's like doing the computer thing and Brandt is like punching the other henchmen and all this other stuff. And she's just like,
she's there
hanging out. Like she falls right back into the same problem that all the other,
she just goes back to
other attempts have been.
Yeah.
But again, that being said, I think Paula Patton is very good in the movie.
I think she's very good.
I think she's good. I think the action sequence is good. I think they're, you know, like all that stuff. I think it works.
The cutting back and forth between all the chaos and stuff. I mean, just the intricacies of this insane like scheme that they've hatched to get the nuclear codes of like, okay, so we're gonna switch the floors. They're gonna think they're on one floor. They're gonna be talking to the fake people, and then Jeremy Renner, you're gonna be taking photos with a magic contact lens. That will print into a magic briefcase.
Yes.
Benji has a fake hand.
Love the fake hand. So again, it's that thing of like, we're just like having fun.
I will say, a fake arm, that's I feel like that could go up there with the little man shades and a big guy in a trench coat. Dude with a fake arm, I don't know.
A dude or Benji specifically?
A Benji
with a fake arm.
Yeah.
And a French accent.
Yeah,
It's pretty good time. Dude, Benji in some shades would be killer.
Benji in some shades.
That'd be crazy.
I think he's got somebody walks in Dubai. They're like, we're the team.
Welcome
that's
to
right.
Dubai.
I'm pretty sure they all got shades.
Yeah, they're all in the suits and everything. I guess we should also talk Tom's hair. Where do you feel with this?
I think this is my favorite of his longer hair.
I agree.
Because I think
I will say his
hair is. It will never look more fabulous than it does in 2.
Oh, it's majestic. It's like a mane.
It is. He is like a horse.
It's like Superman's cape. It's unbelievable.
It's like that Snyder like flow to it. Like you're like, is that shit CGI?
It has like its own gravity.
And I will say, of the hairs I want the 2 hair personally for me, and I want to like research that and come in next episode with 2 hair.
With the locks. Yeah.
You know, genetics are a thing. We'll see. Hollywood money hasn't started racking up, so start sending this to your friends, guys, so I can get some Hollywood hair. You know, start drinking some different water.
But I do think,
but no, I think this hair, it's a good long length of like, and it has that like, I've been in prison, so it's just kind of long, so I haven't cut it a little bit.
I suppose.
Yeah, it's not super like.
Yeah, frizzy
or anything. I don't mean to say that it looks like rough or anything, but it's like, I feel like the length is like good.
Sure, I agree.
I think it's a good length for him.
It looks good in that suit, dude. That blue suit with the hair. I was like, dude, this is a look.
That's a good look for him.
Love the goggles.
The goggles. Honestly, when he's like wearing the goggles on his suit, I'm like, that's a vibe.
Well, it's also one of those things where they're like, we want this later for the sandstorm, so I just have it on his.
It's like someone that feels like I feel like Tom was like, I need the goggles, and they were like, what? And they're like, when I leave the building and I'm chasing the guy on foot, I'm going to need the goggles because there's a sandstorm, so I'm going to need to hang on to my goggles.
No, I agree.
And it's like funny that it's like, he's right.
Yeah. He's totally right. I love that Saito, that she catches the lens. That's what kind of fucks
That's
everything
kind of
up.
cool. I
that
think
she
that's funny.
sees
She's also
it.
like watching him like something's not right.
Yeah, you're
I don't
weird.
feel good about
Are
this.
you Hawkeye? I'm.
Holy crap.
She pulls her phone up and she opens the Jeremy Renner app, and she's like, "This is you, isn't it?"
She opens up her Spotify and it's his album.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
She opens up YouTube and it's a car commercial and that song is playing.
That is fantastic.
She's like, holy shit.
It's the
You're an
Hawkeye
actor.
song or whatever.
From SNL.
Yeah, from SNL. No, but that, yeah, I think, again, like you said, the whole thing of like everything's kind of falling to bits.
Yeah.
And
Also-
Tom is just like slowly slipping. When he drops,
When he's trying to break in?
when
He's on the building, right?
he's on the
Okay,
not
cool.
when he drops with like the fire hose, but when he's
when he does a
he's
Die Hard.
climbing and the thing like it goes
Wait.
beep 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 beep,
And
and
it
he
just stops working.
plummets, and he like
I
sticks his hand.
gasped because I was like, no.
It's
and I know how the movie. I know there's more, and I literally like stopped. Like I choked on water.
it's again, it's like practice. I'm not saying every actor has to go like climb the tallest building in the world and like almost kill themselves. Like I certainly am not saying
No,
that,
but
like, Cruise is the only guy that can really do that, but it is a testament to practical stunts and practical effects and doing
They
things as real
add
as you can.
something.
Obviously Tom is like, they talk about it with Cruise has said in interviews where it's like, he's like, well, aren't you scared? And he's like, not really, because we planned the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Like he's like, we make sure it is as like airtight a plan as we
and
can.
then all the gadgets are like, hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the gadgets are like, what if we fuck up?
What if I crashed out real
What if I
hard
just-
right now?
iCarly burst into flames at a moment's notice.
Yeah. The first drop because the glove doesn't work, and then when he actually has to like get back into the building as quickly as possible,
Yeah.
is so good. Especially when like Renner's like, your line's not long enough, and he's like, no shit.
No shit. Yeah.
It's so good.
It's that
and
also.
then when he does the jump, like that's so like
I was gonna say
the
just
air
before
leaves the room.
the moment when I think it is Paula Patton that walks in. She goes, "Where's Ethan?" And it cuts to Ethan throwing a fire hose out the window and plummeting out of the building.
Yeah, he's like, I watched Die Hard
And
last
he's
night,
just
so watch this.
running down this. He's scaling the
He's like,
building.
the in-flight movie was Die Hard, and so I had a great idea and a terrible idea all at the same time.
It's unbelievable. He's so cool, man.
Honestly, it is.
He's
When he's
so
running down the
cool.
building with the hose, it's so cool.
Yeah, and the
then-
music's going to da-na-na-na-na,
Yeah,
kind
and
of
then he
thing.
does the like, whoop, and like
Yeah.
sort of Superman ballerina Cirque du Soleil's that shit
When he hits the top of the window
with his face.
his face into the window, and they're holding
And
on
I choked
to
on
him.
my water a second time.
It's such a perfect way to end it. Like I think we talked about it.
And then Benji comes in being like, "Whew, almost didn't change those labels in time.
Yeah, I was
Am
like,
I
that
right?
was tough. What have you guys been up to? Like he's like cracking his neck and
He's
like,
like, "Guys,
stretching.
I don't want to brag, but I think I got this field agent shit on lock.
This is my I think I said this to you off air. It's like I have like 3 problems with this movie. One is that the villain's kind of
Yeah.
nothing. 2, not enough Ving Rhames.
Not enough Ving Rhames.
3, and this is kind of more of a like not a genuine criticism, but just something I've noticed. I think unfortunately, this is the peak of the movie.
Yeah,
And I
it
think
doesn't really
It does not
top
get
this. I think it's
better
still
than this.
good. I think the finale
Agreed.
is still really like fantastic.
agreed.
But-
and I think there's good staging in the
Yeah,
finale.
and there's good stakes. Like I think it's really well written all the way through. I think whatever Macquarie did in the rewrites really make this movie like special. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, in terms of like the action sequences, it's kind of hard to top this
Once-
Dubai sequence because they really like the minute they get there, you're just like, oh god, oh my god,
Well,
oh
'cause
my god.
Even when we go into the car chase and it's in the sandstorm and all
Yeah.
that's cool. I like the way we shoot it. It's like leaning into it being chaotic and Tom crashing into stuff and trying not to hit other cars and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. But it is that thing of like, despite that being, I think, pretty effective, you are just like, man, but I just saw the craziest shit in my life
yeah.
3 seconds ago.
I'm still down bad for all of it because it is still so tense. And then there's like that moment where he's in the sandstorm and he sees like the the blinking on the
Yeah, I
map come
love
back,
that.
and then it's like it just starts rushing his light, and he's like, oh, and he looks up and there's like car lights, and you're like, oh,
I also think that shot of
a good
him,
reveal.
the low shot of him running out of the building towards the sandstorm.
Pretty
That
iconic.
low shot, it is genuinely iconic.
Is it better or worse than the 3 run across town?
I wouldn't say it's
Of the Tom Cruise runs, where does this rank?
I wouldn't say it's worse, but I think 3 is just more impressive.
I think I don't mean worse than like I guess in the ranking of it. Like, is it like which is the better one?
I
Not
think
to say
it's
because
still
this is still
3.
pretty fantastic.
This is
but
great. I think it's the shot is iconic, but I think what is the best run? I think it's 3.
I think 3 is number 1
Because of
and
just
it's
him
really hard to
dodging through everybody,
Yeah.
like all that
And I
stuff.
think he starts that run like from the top of like a different building. Like he runs
Yeah, he,
down
like,
to street
climbs-
level and then
yeah.
just starts sprinting.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a great one. 3 is probably the better one, but also the Burj Khalifa sequence eats anything eats lunch,
Pretty
eats lunch of
fantastic.
every sequence in 3, unfortunately.
Yeah, I did.
With
that,
love to
that
3.
whole sequence is better than the whole of that movie, which is still a great watch.
Yes.
The Dubai sequence, the Burj Khalifa sequence is so good. It just destroys that one.
Yep.
It just bodies too.
And I love the bit with the mask that like we learn that the guy is it's the main
he's wearing a
villain.
mask.
Yeah, that
he
he's
chose to
wearing
wear
a
one, which is a fun reveal of like he's like I didn't trust this guy to do it. I had to be there myself.
Yeah. And then after that
He's like I smelled some shady shit going down.
we get into Ethan and Brant having their kind of little face off with each other.
Yeah, which is a fun reveal that like Brent actually is way more competent at this than you would guess, but has removed himself from the field.
Ethan's whole thing of like, you're an analyst? How the fuck can you do that?
I
Like,
know, that's a
thing.
great like
Like,
analyst my ass.
yeah, he's like, what are you talking about, analyst? You are the most skilled analyst I've ever seen, if that's the case. Like,
not many people like take my guns from me, dude.
yeah.
You just did.
Sorry.
But no, that seems pretty great. I think it's fun that leads into him going to find Bogdan again.
How do we feel about Brant's relationship to Ethan?
I like it.
I
feel
it
like
too.
it really works. I think it's just that ultimately, since Renner's gonna not end up not doing more of these like after 5, that it ends up kind of being like, well, I don't know that the movie needs this.
This is where I feel like
I feel like I like it for what was relevant at the time, which was we're setting him up to potentially take the reins. I really like that they do have a relationship.
This is where I feel like the movie is kind of half in, half out with this a little bit.
It is.
Is that if and I'm not endorsing Renner taking over, no disrespect to Renner, but this is Cruise's thing. This is his franchise.
It kind of is.
But
sort of reluctantly.
Because the movie halfway through production essentially is going, oh wait, never mind, we're not giving this to Renner, we're keeping this with Cruise. The whole thing of his connection to Ethan, his connection with Julia, where is Julia just in general, becomes, it's more of just like a background notion. Whereas I feel like it would be, if Brant was taking this over, that it would be kind of the emotional crux of the movie.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really land in that same way.
It's so unrelated to the immediate stakes, which is bad guy with a briefcase.
Yeah, there's a bomb.
There's a bomb.
Yeah.
Get
Heck
down.
yeah. In Centennial Park.
There's
God damn it.
there's a bomb in Centennial Park.
On the bottom of a bus, I can keep going. We can do this. On a boat,
You could do this all day.
cruise control, I could do this all day.
Yeah. If the bus gets, how fast does the bus have to be?
I think, isn't it 55?
I think it's 55.
I think it's, if it can't go below 55.
Yeah. Okay. A whiskey called 55 miles an hour. I don't know.
Into that. This is me doing the Jeff Daniels just look.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Relax your face. No, I kind of agree that it's sort of weirdly unrelated and kind of happenstance that Brant's even on this mission at all.
Yeah.
You know, versus like, had he been sort of recruited to like lead the thing, but then is kind of like, well, I kind of have to defer to Ethan because of seniority.
Yeah.
And it's like putting me in a weird position, but so it is sort of weird and happenstance. And I think that was part of it was like a rewrite because originally, and it was actually for them, it was a problem. And that's why they changed it, I guess, was that when the original draft, Brant's whole thing was completely separate and Julia was just actually dead. Like that was like a confirmed thing that happened and it was supposed to parallel it. But when they were looking at it all, it was like, he's in a different movie. Renner, Like
Yeah.
he's basically having his own movie
Yeah.
in this, and it doesn't really make sense. And so that was when they made the decision. McQuarrie came up with the idea of like, well, what if the mission that goes wrong is Julia, and what if that's actually by design though? And so he changed and came up with the twist that she is alive,
Yeah.
which we'll get to more later. But
Yeah.
like that's all McQuarrie in the
Glad
major
that they did
rewrites.
that.
But yeah, and it's like for what ends up being like Fallout, like it's like I'm so here for all of those changes
Totally.
because I think it just ends up giving us one of the greatest action movies of all time.
Yeah.
But
Obviously we bring Bogdan back.
Bogdan,
Love that he's back and he's like
Bogdan.
just stoked.
dude's a pair of shades away from being a little man.
He kind of is. He has the energy of a little man.
He's got the
in
energy of a
shades,
little man with some shades.
which I will give as a pass. Bogdan gets to be a part of that. And then yeah, obviously like we said kind of in the beginning of the episode, like Peg and Renner get their little back and forth where Peg is like, by the way, this is how Mission Impossible third act is going to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And there's even that moment where Simon Pegg goes, why is this so hard to grasp? Like, he's like, why do you not understand?
He's like, so I just jump, and he's like, and I'll catch you.
You're in a metal magnet suit. We're going to throw you into an oven, and I'm going to catch you.
Yeah, with a
That's how
magnet.
this works.
With a bigger magnet.
Yeah. And he's like, well, I love Renner does
A
the thing where
little
he's like,
magnet RC car.
Renner has like a thing where he's like, I just want to just say my concern is kind of based around the fact that none of the things that we've done so far have worked.
Yeah, none of our plans have been planning.
And
I don't know
Peg
if you've noticed.
just says, well, the science is sound. It's like his response.
And then literally like 20 minutes later, he's like, yeah, probably.
Yeah. I also like how this one is kind of the most globe-trotting of the four thus far. That we are like going around,
Yeah,
like
because
we're
where
doing
we go,
the full
we
adventure.
start in a Russian prison.
Yep.
We go to the Kremlin specifically.
Yep. Go to Dubai.
And then we go to Dubai.
Yep.
Then we go to India.
Yes.
And then we're briefly in San Francisco.
Yes.
It's kind of great.
We're trotting the globe.
Trotting the globe.
We're moving around. We go to the bay.
Shoot some nukes.
That's right. That's
Catch
right. We're taking a trolley.
Catch a Giants game.
It's a good time.
Get some chocolate.
Oh, that's good. Hey.
Ghirardelli Square, yeah.
Yeah, don't get me
What
started.
do
man.
people do in San Francisco?
They hang out.
Break car windows.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, that's a different conversation.
Um,
But yes, okay, so Dubai into India. Yeah, the India sequence is like fun.
It's fun.
But it's
just not as good.
It's just Dubai is really hard to top.
Yeah. We kind of go back and we just kind of do and I don't say this in too negative of a term, but like we just kind of go in and we do the spy thing again.
Yeah, they're doing the spy thing again.
Doing the spy thing again. So we have to seduce this
We're gonna
weird
seduce a weird rich guy who is he's a great character actor. Have you ever seen the movie Slumdog Millionaire? He's like the game show host.
He's in a bunch of
Anil Kapoor.
Yeah, he's fantastic in this.
Yeah, he's really funny.
He's like the whole like shoes bit and all that stuff is so weird and silly. I love
it's one of those like it's so specific detail though that it's like I love it.
I love Renner's like next time like can I seduce the rich guy? Like
That's pretty great.
That's pretty fun. Again, it's good. I will say as a kid, the screen on the car windshield was like the
find me a
coolest
faster route.
fucking thing to me.
I thought that was cool.
I remember watching that and being like, no way. I was like,
No way.
That was sick.
That's great. I like the like grappling in the self-parking car sequence. I think it's a good fight sequence.
It's a good set piece
for what is not like a super memorable villain. I feel like that fight is pretty. I think it's underrated. I think in the grand scheme of like.
Agreed.
I'm grappling a dude.
Again,
like Jesus, like
this whole thing.
I broke his arm. He broke my leg. Now we're jumping from car to car and just pushing the case from each other.
It's just that thing of like it's just unfortunately in the shadow of Dubai.
It is.
Literally the Burj Khalifa's like massive
It's
building.
literally
is
in the
looming.
shadow of the Burj Khalifa.
But yeah, this scene is good. I love the villain just being like, I'm just gonna throw myself off of this thing.
I
Like, he's
know.
just like, in order for me to win, I'm just gonna get this as far away from you as possible.
Yeah.
And just plummet to the ground.
Yeah.
That hit too is brutal.
It is brutal.
dude.
And I love that Ethan, being the madman he is like, I'm just going to drive this car in and hope the airbags keep me alive.
Simon Pegg has that thing where he's like, I heard the insurance isn't covering the car. Something about intentional plummeting the car.
Intentional
100
vertical
meters.
drops aren't covered.
Yeah, weird. And even Tom is like, huh, interesting. And
Yeah,
they all
and
like,
I'm just
we're
like,
doing jokes.
I'm like, are we surprised though? This man did take the Burj Khalifa to the face right before the like last mission, and then proceeds to get another concussion, I'm sure.
And as a wonderful kind of spiritual sequel to Humpty Dumpty Sat on a Wall, Ethan shouts to himself, "Mission accomplished."
Yes.
He has never done that.
He's never done that. That's
Love
not
that
a thing for him until
He's
now.
just decided that he's going to give that a try and workshop
And
it.
it's like, he's like, I know that guy's dying, so I'm going to say this right now just to mock him, I think is the energy he's going
Yes.
for. It's a little stressed. But I like that he says he does it, it hits the button, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. I love when everything kind of comes together and they flip the switch and the nuke is disarmed. The way that it like hits the side of the building and falls into
It
the
is
bay.
pretty great. I think it's pretty. Like, I love the tension of we need to stop the nuke from being fired in the first place too. Hey, the nuke got fired. What do we do now?
Yeah, that they're
I don't
like,
think we ever had a sequence of. Usually we stop them before they turn the keys, and so this one's like, hey, the thing's on its way.
Yeah.
What do we do now?
It's in the air.
And they're like, white knuckle and strap in, just lock in.
Tom Cruise, mission accomplished. Just fucking with feeling, just
He's
does
like,
it.
there's supposed to be an earth shattering kaboom.
He's the phone thing again.
Yeah. It's like it's the button from The Incredibles when they're trying to get him through the tube, and
Yeah.
his belly's
Thump, thump,
blocking
thump,
it.
thump,
Thump,
yeah.
thump, thump, thump.
And then obviously he thankfully succeeds. Sinister McTrenchcoat makes his reappearance.
Yes.
I love the little silent nod bit where he's like, hospital, and he's like,
Yeah.
just quietly like, yes, please, I'm in a lot of pain.
Yeah, real quick, because I brought up The Incredibles. The guy who does your mission, should you choose to accept
Yes.
it, is the voice from The Incredibles that's like, would you like more mimosas?
I thought the same
Which
thing.
is so great. I'm like,
Love
that voice
that.
needs to be in all of them.
I don't know who that guy is.
That
I
should be a
tried
standard.
looking up who it was. I
know.
couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I'm obviously it must be someone.
Yeah,
but
Billy
I don't know
Crudup
who.
does it in 3, and I think he does a great version of it, but
Yeah, he
this
does do
is
a
the
good
voice
version.
that it should always be, and they should.
It's perfect.
Yes, that's what it needs. That's the standard for your mission should you choose to accept it voice. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
so sorry, go back into the
We
finale.
hang out in
crash
San
some cars,
Francisco.
grab a beer like
Yeah.
the end of the first one.
Everyone's like, we're buddies. We're having
We're
a
buddies.
good time.
Ving comes back and he's like, "You really didn't just say that?
Yeah.
You silly white boy."
Ving is like, you did a whole Ghost Protocol, huh?
You know,
It's
whole
basically
you went rogue and then said that. White people.
it is funny just to watch him be like, you're a fucking idiot.
He's
Ethan.
like, that's why I love you, dude.
Yeah.
that's why I fuck with you. But
Obviously we
I
get
also love when he's like, "No, come on, I'll grab the beers." He's like, "I see you, bitch." And he, like,
Yeah.
flips on. It's so good.
obviously we learn that Julia is alive,
Yes.
that they faked her death. Ethan
And that was part of
realized-
a similar, like, we got to find a mole and
Yeah.
do a thing. And
Yeah, she's never gonna be safe because I'm Ethan Hunt and I
Yeah.
throw myself off of buildings
he's
every
like,
other
"I
day.
have too many concussions to also keep track of her safety." So
Yeah, he's like, I've lost my goddamn mind.
yeah.
So
Somewhere
she has
between
to-
getting hit in the head by a building,
Yeah.
and then crashing a car.
something in the multiple death-defying stunts I've done. I like him, giving everybody the phone and being like, we're gonna be a team and stuff like that. Again, a bummer. Paula Patton is the one who doesn't
I
continue.
know. And she's like, "JK,
Yeah, she's like, sorry, I'm
I
gonna
gotta deal with some
go
blurred
be
line
in
issues."
Warcraft.
Oh, is she in Warcraft?
She's in Warcraft. She's a pretty
Okay.
good one, man.
I heard she was with Robin Thicke, and then somewhere in there, blurred lines came out, and I haven't heard from her since.
Oh, well, no, she's doing some stuff. She's
Has she?
doing-
Okay,
yeah.
she's doing TV.
I
Should
think
look this
so.
up, but-
Usually, it's always that thing like where you see someone in a movie and you're like, "What's that person been up to?" And they've been on TV for
Yeah.
a shit ton of time.
Let's see here. I got a movie Deja Vu. Oh yeah, she's working,
Yeah, she's doing her thing.
doing her thing.
I would like to see her come back. I think she'd be.
No, I thought she was a
fun-
good addition. I feel like I think you're absolutely right. Like, it's like ultimately they don't really give her that much.
Yeah,
But like, she is at least more engaged with like the beat to beat of like what's going on with the missions and like how to achieve the said goals. Like, at least she's got like a little bit more agency than some other people
yeah,
in the franchise.
Agreed.
But it's like that thing of like, you do one more, it's like you could really expand on that in a really healthy
They
way.
just
But they just don't get
never
to.
do it.
They never do it. But
But I can't wait to get into Ilsa Faust.
Yes,
finally.
yeah. So I think we're sort of getting into that question of wrapping up, going after a fourth Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
Would you say you need one?
This
more?
one I think tees up pretty. They even name dropped the Syndicate.
They literally are like, "Hey, the bad guy from the TV show. We're acknowledging their existence."
Yeah,
we didn't come out of the gates swinging with the Syndicate,
despite
but
me,
like, hey, by the way, what if like a whole nation went rogue?
which was a potential title for this movie. Funny enough, was Rogue Nation.
Really? Oh,
They
okay.
considered calling it that.
Ghost Protocol is such a good
Ghost Protocol is
subtitle.
better.
Apparently, Tom Cruise was so excited because he hates numbered sequels and was
Yeah.
like, "Ghost Protocol rips. This is the one."
Ghost Protocol is sick. They're all pretty good. Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout, Dead Reckoning. Like those are
The Final
sick
Reckoning. Those are
fucking
all
titles.
great.
But yeah, I would definitely say this movie sets it up pretty well. Despite me thinking that him literally disappearing into the fog is a bit much.
Yeah, he's not Batman.
He literally vanishes. Through
The power of awesome.
Through
the power of Tom Cruise and
I mean, I guess
potentially
knowing
Scientology.
Ethan Hunt, he's like just like slingshotted his way onto a helicopter.
I
He's like colliding on
suspect
the
he
side of it.
built a trap door
You could be right.
and trapdoored his way through
You never know with Ethan Hunt.
because he's like, people are watching. I have
Yep.
to do something cool.
That's true. He's a bit like Harry Houdini.
Yeah, like even when he's like staring longingly at Juliet, which I love that they gave him a moment of like, hey,
We're okay.
I miss you, but
basically. This is the best. This
Bye.
is unfortunately the best way.
yeah,
that
and
this
it's like
can work.
just the looks they gave each other, or it's really good. I
Yeah.
really like the romantic in me is like,
Sure, totally.
mi amore.
Yeah.
Amore. Like I'm just
Yeah.
but like it's just a nice like tender moment of like, you're gonna go get a happy ending, and I have to save the world and shit. So
Yeah.
Ving
I'm gonna
Rhames
go
is
throw
right.
myself off some more buildings.
Yeah.
But
Sorry,
yeah,
I can't keep you safe, babe.
I certainly think that
I might have to go rogue.
we need one more. Yeah, he's like, I hate to tell you this, but I go rogue like
Like
A
3
lot.
times a week minimum. Like
It's
they're
crazy
like,
that
hey, do
they're
you want
still-
your regular order from Togo's? And he's like,
I'm going to
Dun,
Jersey Mike's.
dun.
Bum, 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 bum. It's him running to Jersey Mike's.
and then on the way he's like, Ike's.
Oh, let's go.
He's like,
He's
I'll
in the
take
Bay.
I'll take a Maverick.
He's in the Bay. Ike's is down here in SoCal now, but
Yeah, it's down here. We got a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple
There's
now.
one in
They're
Los
popping
Angeles.
up.
There's one in Newport, and
yeah, there's a few.
there's a few.
There's a few now.
We're
Very
really
happy.
localizing ourselves. People are like, shut the fuck up about sandwiches.
I'm a big Ike's sandwich fan. I have a
Yeah.
lot of
I will
childhood
say,
memories.
I will take sponsorship from any sandwich. Just come at me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a big sandwich guy.
We'll eat the sandwich on an episode.
I absolutely will.
I will wear sunglasses.
I will wear
I
a
will-
big trench coat.
Let's make our dreams your reality.
Thanks for putting up with this. To answer the question for myself, I am like locked in. I'm
Fuck
like,
yeah.
not only do I need one more, I need at least 6 more.
Oh yeah.
If they're gonna be like this, like sign me up for more. I
At-
am so locked in for more.
At this point, we've.
And I
gone
think most
full
people
force.
were also like, yeah, we'll take more.
Well, like you said, it's the highest grossing one.
It's the highest grossing one.
People are like,
really
more,
and then
yes.
people were like, more stunts, more going rogue.
Well, it's,
Um,
and I know we've talked about, in the inception of the podcast, that box office doesn't mean everything, right? But it is that thing of like, again, we talk about narrative runway, that it is kind of like, these movies are kind of independent of each other, right? So it's hard to be like,
yeah,
oh, like, well, of course we need to do another one because there's these plot threads that are still up, or we have this opportunity to do this. Like, each movie will be another mission.
yeah,
But it is that thing of like, I think it's the idea of like, oh, if we've decided, if this is the tone of the movies going forward, yeah,
yeah.
keep
Everyone's like
doing
locked
this.
in, and it's
This
like
is
that
working.
like original idea of like
You
everyone
found
is
it.
a different tone. It's like, no, just do that. That's
Yeah.
the formula.
Well, at this
That's
point,
the key to success.
like you said, McQuarrie obviously not taking any credit away at all from Brad Bird, who's a fantastic filmmaker,
Amazing director, especially here. Like he really shines. It's a crazy that like
and his live action debut.
it's a live action debut, and it just makes me so sad that Tomorrowland is
Yeah.
what it is, and it's just like, yeah, now he's doing Incredibles 2 and
now
presumably
3.
3, and so it's
He's
like,
doing 3,
and
that's
those are all
announced.
going to be good. I like 2, not as much as
Agreed.
1, but
Yeah, I'm not
for a different
excited.
series on the podcast, maybe
Sure.
one day, maybe
That'd be fun.
we haven't,
We can do The Incredibles.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd like that.
But it's like every time I see it, he has like 4 movies always up and coming, but he's just doesn't work nearly as much
he's
for my
developing
taste.
a bunch of stuff.
But yeah,
But yeah, I certainly think we would. We got one more.
We did get
Got
one
a
more.
couple more.
Got a couple more.
A whole nation.
A whole rogue nation.
That's right.
Final thoughts before we hand it off next week?
Nobody runs better than Tom Cruise.
Little guy in shades.
Yes. If I could see Tom Cruise in shades, just like, I guess that's Maverick.
Yeah, and
Tom
Risky
Cru-
Business.
Maverick-
That's most Tom Cruise. This is Tom Cruise, I think, in general.
Is Tom Cruise
He does a Maverick in.
is kind of the
3, I think.
definitive little guy with shades?
No, I think Snoopy's the definitive
As
little guy
is
in
Joe
Shades.
Cool.
Joe Cool is Joe Cool. It's kind of hard to compete. No,
Let's put
we
Joe
love to tell
Cool in the final reckoning. What if he's like, there's only one man we know for the job, and it's Joe Cool? What's his name? Like it's just he just comes out of the
I hope you realize with that joke, you've cost us $1,000
fuck
in
Right.
royalties.
Oh, we'll cut that.
No, I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say if the entity is revealed to be Joe Cool,
That would be
it's
cool.
a twist I'm not expecting.
It's the Red Baron.
The Red Baron. Oh no!
It's just Ethan on a doghouse being like,
They're both on a doghouse. Wait,
That's
wait,
pretty
hey,
good.
hold on. They got the biplanes.
that's true.
They teased them
Dude, it's fucking
for Dead Reckoning, but they're
Snoopy.
actually for Final Reckoning.
Oh, that's pretty great.
Shit, I think we might be onto something here.
A Charlie Brown crossover with Mission Impossible?
Yeah,
Into it.
find out next week whether
Yes.
that is what happens.
This is good.
This is good.
We've struck gold.
We struck gold.
Much like Ghost Protocol, we've locked in.
We've locked in.
We've found
Yeah.
it. We found it.
Yeah, I think that's the episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think that's the episode. Well, we'll see you guys all next week. Make sure to follow us on a bunch of things and check out the Discord. Tell us your thoughts. Let us know
Yeah.
if you need one more.
Let us know what you thought about Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol.
Did you go Ghost?
Did you go Ghost? Because we went Ghost.
I've certainly gone Ghost. I went
I've
Ghost
gone
probably a couple hours ago.
Like Tom Cruise going Rogue, I go Ghost at least 3 times a week.
I'm out of here. I've been gone. I am an apparition at this point.
You atomized and
Yes, I am.
gone.
I'm basically existing in purgatory.
Yeah. I'm just like I'm somewhere in the Bifrost rainbow sequence. I'm just like
Looking out.
Yeah.
Waiting for Jane Foster.
yeah. Well, no, I'm going for Idris. I just have my eyes.
Oh, you're just looking,
I'm just looking,
aren't we? Yeah, we're just hanging out.
just looking, not buying, not buying,
Perceiving.
just looking,
You're just keeping an eye.
just percepting.
A watchful protector.
A silent guardian.
A little guy in shades.
Yeah, that's the episode.
Thank you for listening to We Need One More.
Be sure to follow us on socials like TikTok and Instagram at WNOM Podcast to stay up to date on upcoming episodes.
And feel free to join our Discord community where you can share your thoughts on the movies we're watching together. That's going to be at WNOM Podcast server with the link in the bio.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. That's the best way to support the show and to let us know that you need one more.
We'll see you next week. This podcast is produced by Pilot 9 and 9 Ball Creative.